guys, it's Jim here with another Vinyl Kaiju review. Today we've got another subscriber requested review. This one comes from a guy by the name of The Craze Bling, and what he wanted to see was my M1 Final Form Biollante. Now when I bought this, what I actually wanted more was the Marmot version of Final Biollante, but you know, I kind of had a particular colorway in mind, and I haven't been able to find that one yet, so I ended up buying this instead at a much lower price actually. According to Club Tokyo, this figure came out in 1999, and there's probably about 400 to 500 pieces of this particular figure out on the market. This is really the only variant that's available. There are some unpainted ones, and there's also a glow variant, but evidently there's only about 20 of them ever made, so that's not really a realistic figure to track down for most people. Now, to get into reviewing the figure itself, I've said this about M1 figures before, but pictures and probably even video just don't do it justice. I don't know how easy it is to see. We'll get a little bit closer in here. The difference in shading. There you can see there's like a kind of a dark green, almost kind of a pine color. I don't know if pine's a color, maybe that's just a scent, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's got this kind of dark green, and that's what it's cast in, but on top there is a metallic green that's sprayed over, and the difference between the two is subtle. In some angles you can't really tell the difference, but then when you've got just the right light shining on it, it really looks fantastic. And again, I've said it about M1 figures, I think in my GMK Godzilla review, but the vinyl is just very high quality. It's heavy and thick, and it feels like a sturdy figure. So you feel like you get your money's worth when you have one of these. Now, sculpt-wise, I think this is really an excellent piece. There's, I mean, a fantastic amount of detail. I mean, we can start by looking at the face. You see the teeth are carved out here. There's tons of detail for the spines, I guess you could call them. I don't know if those are Godzilla spines, or if you'd want to call them some sort of floweration there. Whatever you want to think of that as, but it's all done very nicely, all the way down to the back. Down to the roots. The vines have kind of these thorns on them that look very cool. Then on the front here you've got kind of this, I don't know, what the hell would you call that? Some kind of plant sack. That sounds kind of weird, but that's what you've got there. That's done very nicely as well. So all the details on this figure are very nice. Oh, and then you've got the mouths done at the end of these. I think it's kind of a bad choice on their part to have them all closed, but M1 figures do tend to prefer to have the closed mouths on the main heads as well as the other heads of their figures. I mean, if you see their Ghidorah from GMK, it's got all of its mouths closed too, so that's just kind of their MO. Paint-wise, I already mentioned the metallic green that's sprayed over the vinyl there, but there's also this yellow highlight here. I think that looks alright. It's not my favorite part of the figure, but it looks decent enough. It adds a little bit of pop to it. We looked at the facial detail, and obviously with most of their figures the teeth are painted very intricately. There's no slop or anything like that. It looks very nice. The eyes are pretty simply done with the red and a black center there, but it's adequate. It looks pretty good. And then we've got silver highlights on the mouths of these tendrils, and of course some metallic pink kind of rosy color on the abdomen there. So all in all, it looks very nice, very adequate there. We can talk about articulation. Biollante, you know, when they had the Bandai figure, people called it a stump, and that's kind of what this is too, but it's got a little bit of articulation. It kind of looks like you'd be able to rotate the head here, but you actually can't. It's just that it's molded in two different pieces. But fortunately, each one of the vines does move. You know, it's not a 360 thing for you people who aren't interested in that kind of thing, who care about that. But they do rotate a little bit. You can, especially with the front ones, not so much the back, they're a little stiff, but with the front ones, you can extend them, you know, all the way forward or pull them back, get a different look. You could even wrap them around another figure if you wanted, if you want to pose them like that. And then we have to talk about scale, I guess. Biollante is a tough character to scale for, being that it's such a gigantic monster. So first of all, the most logical pairing is the M1 Bio Goji. Now, take a look at these, and clearly they are out of scale. So if you are someone who feels passionately that their figures have to be all in scale, maybe not the pair for you. I happen to think they look fantastic together, but it's very obvious that the Biollante is underscaled compared to it. Godzilla should really be at a height where Biollante can chomp him on the head like he does in the movie, or like she does, I guess it would be. So they look great together, but they don't quite scale up. That's just how it works out. But how about a figure that does scale up pretty well? I've got the Bandai Godzilla Island Series 6-inch Heisei Godzilla. Not Haishi, as some people might have said on certain comic book TV shows. But yeah, with those ones, see, that actually scales up pretty decently. That's about what they look like in the movie, isn't it? I mean, it's the wrong Godzilla suit, but scale-wise, that's about right. So, with the Biollante being about 7 inches tall, a 6-inch Godzilla works out pretty well. That's about right. Okay, so to give this figure a final score, honestly, I'm going to have to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I don't think it's perfect, but it's definitely one of my favorites. It's very nice. I can't really think of anything I particularly would have done differently, I guess. It's kind of the M1 style. Maybe a different color for this highlight on top I would have chosen. Maybe have some of the mouths on the vines open. But otherwise, there's nothing to complain about here. It's a very excellent figure. Price-wise, I think I paid about $30, $35 plus shipping on mine. There's someone who has his on eBay right now for $200 or best offer, and that's ridiculous. I think if you pay between $60 and $80 on this guy, that's reasonable. But you know, with these kind of figures, you just have to pay what you can find it for and what it's worth to you. So I would recommend 60 to 80 if you find it, and I think it's a great figure if you can't find the Marmot. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'll have another one coming up for you shortly.